So guys, this is my weekly report for July 27th. And first I'm going to give you a little recap of what I did this week. So Monday I went to the ocean and fished on the Caldon 2 with California Sportsmen and Ultimate Radio with Seps and Kent. And we took a crew of 25 guys and we headed out the gate and it was rough. I mean, really rough. We took a few waves over the bow, but we got out there and we had a good day. We limited out on lane cod and rockfish. And then I went and got invited kokanee fishing with a friend of mine, Roger, and Haney and Rick Teets. And he told me I couldn't tell you guys where we went, but I'll give you a hint. We were up Highway 50 and we had an awesome day. We caught a ton of fish. We had our easy limits by a little after 9:30, and the fish are about anywhere from 14 on the small side up to 16 inches, and they're really thick and fat. Really nice grade of fish. And then today I went to the Delta, took a good friend Pete Jensen, and we went up north and we had an awesome day. We caught probably 25 bass and maybe 12 stripers. I had a couple big stripers swirl at the boat that were, in that 15 to 20 pound class. I saw them. We had about a 19 pound limit of bass. We had some solid fish today. We caught a lot of bass. So other things going on, some of the hottest things going on in the area is the bluefin tuna when the weather permits. It's been rough. So nobody's been able to get out for like 2 weeks now. And there's supposed to be some windows when, guys will start to be able to get out there. And when they do, before we had all this bad weather, there was a lot of guys going out there, guys that never did it before. And almost everybody caught fish. They hooked them, they got spooled, they landed them, they caught fish from 30 pounds up to almost 160. So there's a lot of fish out there, because when guys go out there the first time and catch them, then there's a lot of fish out there. The number one lure is a Mad Max and the 200 size. You got to have a reel that'll hold anywhere from 800 to 1,000 yards of line, because when you troll these things, you're trolling probably about 100 yards behind the boat. And I'm doing a video which will probably be out probably in the next 2 weeks on it, on some of the equipment needed and the knots that you need to learn to tie. And the bluefin is just a craze right now. It's just going crazy. At the shop we can't, every day winding up line reels, and guys are bringing in 30s and they're getting spooled. So you got to have something that holds a fair amount of line. One of the things coming up is Caldon 2, James Smith. He's going to start running tuna trips out there, but it's all if the weather permits. So if you call him, you could put your name on a list, and you're going to be on a 2 to 3 day notice. So when they know the weather's good, they're going to make that run. He'll call you, and then you could say yay or nay. They're going to do overnight trips where they're going to jig them at night and then troll for them in the daytime. Jay Lopes, he's going to start doing it. Ricky Acosta, Steve Mitchell, all these guys are going to be going after those bluefin here real quick when the weather permits. So if you go out with these guys and you want to make a trip, I would call them and ask them how they're going to go about signing you up so you could actually get out there and hook some of these big bluefin tuna. So the other things, halibut coming on in. The North Bar has been good, but we've been having these big tides and it hasn't been very productive. Plus it's been really rough. Catching a lot of them in the bay still, but a lot of them are smaller grade. Once in a while guys are getting a 20 pounder here and there, but most of them are been a little bit smaller, but still you could get limits. And they're drifting the live anchovies. The bait over there on Pier 37 still open, so you could get that anchovy. I did a video not too long ago on it, and you can use that 3-way with a dropper weight and a 4 to 6 foot leader for your live anchovy and just drift them around. They're catching them at Alcatraz, Angel Island, Hampton Shoals, Berkeley Flats. They're catching them everywhere in the bay, and but they're just a little bit small. When the weather permits and the tide starts slowing down, I would get out on that north bar. Stripers, they kind of left the scene in the bay. You know, they're still catching some. They're small schoolies. I think the majority of all the bigger stripers hit it outside the Golden Gate, hit us out. And what they do is they head up, and they go south, and they hang around in all those beaches around Pacifica. So there's a lot of guys catching fish off the shore, throwing jerk baits, top water. But I think the hottest bait is the iron. So you're using a 2 to 3 ounce spoon and casting it out as far as you can in the surf, and then just rip it on back. If you want to catch big stripers, do it at night and use spoons at night. They're catching a lot of big fish over there. So Pacific is the place you want to go if you want to catch stripers. There's still some locally in the rivers. The other day, I mean, like today, you know, I was fishing for bass, but we probably caught over a dozen. And I saw a couple that were in that 15, 20-pound class come right up to the boat and just swirled at my bait. So there's stripers in the river. I know guys that are still catching them in the evening time, throwing jerk baits around the Hood to Warner Grove area. So those areas are still, there's just a lot of stripers in the system. They're everywhere. So you can still go out and catch a lot of those. Trout fishing. Usually trout fishing is about done. I heard Big Nate's still been catching them at Comanche and Pardee. A lot of kokanee at Pardee. So he'll go catch kokanee and then turn around and go fish for rainbow trout or some big browns. I'm sure Collins, you know, all the lakes that have trout, you know, if you have downriggers where you can get it down deep enough, I'm sure you can still catch a lot of trout. Kokanee, Bullard's Bar, still hot, and the fish are 12 to 13 inches now. They're growing. Stampede, it busted wide open again. A friend of mine's there for 2 days, and he was having 60 fish days, and he's catching them anywhere from 40 to 60 feet down. Pardee's been red hot. New Maloney's still been getting them, and there's a lake up there by Ice House that's been producing a lot of kokanee, a lot of nice ones. So other things going on, the bass fishing in all the lakes is still really good. Folsom, I heard they're still catching them. You can get them drop shot and you get them on Senkos. I'm sure Comanche, Amador, heard Shasta, Orville. Clear Lake has been really good, and they're catching a lot of them there on trash fish. So you know, there's bass fishing's been good all over. The Delta's really good. You know, I go there every week, once or twice, and it's just a good bite this year. A lot of guys have been having trouble, but I found a good bite. Last week we did a video on spinner baits, and we caught a lot of bass. And today we caught a lot of them on chowder baits. So there's still some shad in the American River up high, but other than that, it's kind of ending now. It's getting really late in the season, so kind of shad's kind of dying off. They are catching stripers in the American River on jerk baits and flukes, especially in the evening time right before dark. You can't fish there at night, so you know, you're there the last hour and you'll have a lot of action, and then it's over. A lot of schoolies, but they are still getting some really big fish. Then again, on Saturday morning, on your way out fishing, if you're on the road at 6:30 in the morning, tune in to 1140 on the AM dial. And on California Sportsman's, I'm on every day, every Saturday, and every first of the month on Saturdays, I'm in the studio. So put that on the AM dial on 1140, and you can listen to the current reports. So if you like the video, hit that like, please subscribe, leave me a comment. I'll get back in a few days, and I'll talk to you guys next week.